Welcome to this episode of Wanderlust Solo Women Travel Unscripted. Real women, real stories, real journeys, and no filter. Join Gina, your host, to share the experiences and stories of solo female travelers and advocates from all over the world, with a mission to empower women of all ages, backgrounds, and life stages to embrace solo female travel with confidence and enthusiasm, while being authentic and real, unscripted. Confronting the challenges and apprehensions many women face when considering solo adventures, providing inspiration to break through those barriers. Sharing how life transitions, loss, and trauma can lead to amazing experiences, rediscovery, and life journeys. The good, the bad, and the ugly of authentic and honest travel. So let's throw out the script, get comfy, and jump right into this episode.
Has a major life event ever changed your path in life? Joining the show with me is Sue MacDougall. Having spent over 20 years living in Greece, Italy and London, Sue brings a depth of local knowledge and insight that goes far beyond the practical travel experience, sharing hidden gems, authentic moments, and a true sense of a place that only locals really know. She has created Love My Greece Retreat, which is a soulful, creative escape on a beautiful Greek island designed for women over 50 who are ready to reconnect with themselves and live their creativity. Through expressive painting, meaningful connection, and immersive local experiences, it offers a space to slow down, be inspired, and rediscover joy. We discuss how life can change and lead you on new paths of rediscovery and connection. So get comfy, grab a cuppa, and join us. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have you back to Wanderlust Solo Women Travel, the Unscripted podcast. And today I have Sue joining us. Welcome, Sue.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. And where are you tuning in from today?
Tauranga in Bay of Plenty.
In New Zealand. So it's lovely to have a fellow Kiwi on board here because usually I have women from all over the world. So it's so exciting to have you here. And I can't wait to delve into what we're going to explore about you and living abroad and your adventures and how that came about and then how that transformed into art retreats in Greece, which is super exciting. But I want to start with our pass the parcel questions. So if anybody's been listening out there, it's something we start each show with as a question from a previous guest. So this is a little bit complicated, but I think once you get it, it's actually quite good.
Yeah.
I want to know, when you travel, what is your automatic yes?
My automatic yes is to go to an art gallery or an exhibition.
Why does that not surprise me at all? And let us know why that is.
I'm an award-winning artist here in Tauranga in New Zealand and abstract contemporary artist. And so when I travel, I always look for billboards or posters or something. Might be in the hotel, it might be on a wall or something, and I go, oh, and I just, that's where I go always, as well as I go to the usual touristy places. Yeah.
But I love that because I think that's a great way to travel. I know, we went to, I can remember a time when I was in Florence and, the Statue of David, and there's queues to see it. So I never saw it, but we heard that there was a piano concerto. And it was free.
Yeah.
And it was hosted in the same room. Yeah. So we went to that. So we got to see it by default. But you mentioned, going to art galleries or art expositions and stuff like that is an amazing way to explore a town or a city that you're just discovering, isn't it?
Yeah. I find that really, it's just gives me more ideas of what I like in art, and some of the ideas I don't like in art, so... But I think to myself, wow, they've got a mindset and
And I really want to touch, and I want you to share on your origin story, because we talked a little bit before, and I really, really loved your origin story of how you came to start exploring the world back when you were a younger woman. Do you want to, can you delve into that a little bit more?
Right. I was brought up in farming community. We had share milkers, and so my father thought that a good idea for me to actually marry one of his friends' sons, and would take me around we've got to go and see such and such a neighbor, or go down here, we'll go a couple of hours drive, and then they'll say, isn't he a lovely young man that's there? And I'd go, yeah. So my father said to me when I wanted to go to art school, he said, no, all artists, they only make money when they die. So you go to business college or go and work in a factory. And I went, a factory? Business college. I think I'll go to business college. So I ended up in the business world. And I met a travel agent and I said, I want to go overseas. And it was quite hard back then. There was no mobile phones back then. It was just landlines and that sort of thing. And he opened my eyes to the world. And to get out there, I wanted to go and work for Air New Zealand. So I applied for Air New Zealand, and I'm 5'11" or 5'10 and a half, whatever you want to measure me by. They only took you to 5'9". I got rejected the first interview. So that was that. So I was quite disheartened and tried to save up money, and I was saving up my money. Then all of a sudden, Chandris, the Greek shipping line, had advertisements in the Herald, New Zealand Herald, for positions on their ships that are coming into the harbour in Auckland, and I was accepted there. So I ended up there and travelled the world, went right up to England, and we had dry dock. And it's quite funny, on the Greek ships, young female, there was quite a few of us on there, but the attitude was quite, if you didn't go with them, you were a lesbian. Let's put it that way. But you went with them, you're a prostitute. There's no mediocre. So the lady I really liked, and we got on really well, Karen, we were both lesbians as far as everybody else was concerned. And we travelled around, we had dry dock, and so we travelled around Europe, and we were going to jump ship. We'd had enough of their attitude and the way they thought about us. And I was a cashier, and I was in the reception area for the welcome, like reception area. And so was Karen. There were nurses on board, and there was, I think, one female doctor, and a photographer. Anyway, her mother died back here, so she wanted to come back. So we got back on the ship, and the first man I met was my boss, and I became a prostitute. He proposed
default.
marriage. Yeah, default. He proposed marriage, it got right around, and I was actually chucked off the ship for fraternising with my boss. Coming into Auckland Harbour, I got notice, and I went, oh. So he came around one trip around and proposed marriage. So both my parents were astounded. I think my mother I think it was my mother said, "You're not going to do that, are you?" Wow. I took off and went over to Greece, and it was during a dictatorship, and I didn't understand that at all. And so that was quite hard, getting to know the ways of the Greeks and trying to learn Greek. And I got married in the Greek Orthodox Church without any of my family, and can't remember what was said. I know rice was thrown at me and flowers. I remember a cousin giving me a bouquet of flowers. The hairdresser kind of appeared from nowhere, and you rent dresses over there, so there's a lot of rental shops there. So we went into Athens for that. The island is just 40 minutes away from Piraeus and Athens, so very easy to go in. So that's where I ended up, and had 2 children there. And then things went skewiff, and decided there's more to life. I was painting or drawing a little bit there, but not enough, because I had 2 children. And then I ended up separating and coming back to New Zealand.
How, I don't even know where to start. You were a trailblazer, really. I mean, you did, maybe if you do that now, it might not raise eyebrows as much. So when would this have been, the late 70s?
Yeah.
So it was a different time.
Yeah.
And so you were doing a lot of stuff that young women shouldn't have been doing.
No, everybody was getting married back in New Zealand. I thought, no, I'm going to do something different.
And then to go to a country really where, like you said, you didn't know Greek, you had to learn it. And then not only to get married, but then raise and bring up 2 young children without your family.
Yeah.
That would have had its hard moments.
Well, my gynecologist was one of the top gynecologists. A cousin had used him over in Athens, but he only spoke Italian and Greek, no English. And he used to talk in Italian to me, and I go, and his name was Dr. Soupy. I'll never forget it. It's Dr. Soupy. And I'll never forget him. He was a lovely guy, but no, I couldn't quite understand what was happening. I had an English friend on another island, Julie, and I said to her, "What's it like to give birth?" And she said, "Well, it's like your period pain, but double." When I had my first son, Panagiotis, I rang her up and said, "Yeah, right."
Did you feel like, were there times, because this is, something I think, when people go overseas for holidays
Yeah,
and they have a fabulous, say they go to Greece,
yeah,
for example, they have a fabulous
that's
holiday and
time.
then they think,
Yeah,
I want to go back and live there. Living there is a different thing than visiting, and it doesn't matter
yeah,
what country. I get this a lot, because
yeah,
I have my groups in Bali, and we'll get into your Greece ones soon. And people go, because you're in a bubble a little bit. It's
yeah.
a whole different story living there, because people have said to me, why don't you want to live in Bali? I said, because it's not the same. It's a
No,
different experience.
no, it
You
is.
would have felt that, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I did. I didn't realize, you just go with the flow. It just kind of happened. And, you just have experiences. And I met two other English girls who were married to Greeks. And so the three of us were really, really close with our children. And, you know, just an example, when you got the terrible twos, sort of thing, and ringing her up and say, and she says, just drop everything and I'll be over, sort of thing. And it was that sort of, I always had those two women with me
Yeah.
in my life. My mother did come over and visit, and my cat's just kind of coming to.
It's fine. It can join the interview.
So, I found those people, and I actually started a foreign women's group as well. So I
Yeah.
helped foreign women that were stuck there and helped them out, sort of thing. So you just got along with life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's the thing, you realize just how capable, and I always tell women this when they're starting their solo travel journeys. You are more capable than you think.
yeah,
And women, just by nature, have learnt just to get on with stuff
yeah,
because we have to.
yeah.
So to me, just transferring those skills, which most women already have when it comes to travel, I think once they get through that mindset barrier of they can't do it, yeah, you can, and you're a testament to that.
Well, I love travel, and I've learned a lot from it, and living there and being in that environment is quite
Yeah.
different to here. People say to me back here, "Why did you come back?" And you lived in Greece, and I said, "Well, there's no potholes in New Zealand," and I
Well, there
don't.
are. Don't start that debate, but yeah.
But I mean, anything legal, anything, you know, just owning a car, or, it's just a mindset that you have to get around and go from one government department to another government department to get a stamp here, get a signature here, go back and forward and all this sort of thing. It's actually quite horrific over there, the
Yeah, and
bureaucracy of it all. But I think also experience, of understanding that we can, as women, travel by ourselves.
yeah. And I think too, like when you were there was, like you mentioned, there was a dictatorship.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother kettle of
Mm,
fish on in a way of
yeah.
living that's quite alien to what you were used to.
Yeah, you had to be careful, what you said. I remember one evening I was out and we had a voting. It was, we had to vote no, the next day, no to democracy. And I turned
It's
around
not
and said,
really a vote then, is it?
no. I turned around as a joke and said, so I suppose everybody's going to vote no. With that, my husband picked me up and said, come on, home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did see people disappear there, that, they just, and there was a prison, a political prison on the island.
It's crazy, and I think that's the thing, we don't sometimes you need to take yourself out into different, well, not always situations like that, but to compare how lucky we are, some of us, where we live and the freedoms we do have,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of people don't have them.
Yeah, and, when I went to leave the Greece, they wouldn't let me go. Suitcase was on the plane. No, you've married a Greek, you become a Greek citizen. And they said to my husband, he can go. And he said, well, she doesn't speak Greek properly. How's she going to get her ID card and get her passport without my help? So the plane had to wait to get our suitcases off, and I had to stay there until I got my Greek identification card, which I've still got, which I'm very proud of now.
I
But I
bet
wasn't
you
back
are.
then. I wasn't back then.
And then your life changed and you went into the business world, which
Yeah.
is quite a stark contrast to what you do now. So
Yes. Yeah.
what about that transition? If you don't mind me asking, what
No.
age was it when you ended that business part of your life and then sort of leapt into and went back to, I suppose, to your roots of your creative side?
I've always been creative. When I came back with the boys to New Zealand, I always was creative. I worked during the days in office, and then in the evenings and afternoons, I would be doing floristry or painting or doing something to make some extra money. So I always had that kind of avenue that I wanted to get back into the arts. I did a few short courses and got myself, a bit more established in my own feelings about how I actually am an artist, sort of thing. So it kind of progressed from there, but I ended up in corporate and in Auckland, and I was top management there. And I said to my immediate boss, I'm going to take it Friday afternoons off. And he said, why? And I said, because I'm going to go and do some abstract art courses in Howick. And he said, what for? And I said, because I need to. And
Yeah.
I already had a studio at home, and my boys had left as well. And so I did that for about a year and a half. So it was progressing from the business world but I'm so thankful my father actually made me go to business college, because I'm a very much a businesswoman as well as an
Yeah.
artist, which a lot of artistic people aren't.
Yeah. So you've
Yeah.
got the balance of both worlds, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we still need, unless you're in a very fortunate position, money to live. So
Yes. Yeah.
to balance those both things and to make a living, or, to get an income off your art, I'm really interested, at what point was there a time when you thought, I am an artist, like you actually gave yourself that name? Because my mother, I'm just thinking of her, because she's like you, always been amazingly creative. And she had a health scare and she started drawing and doing some watercolors. And they're amazing. To her, she's not an artist. So I want to know, at what point do you know that you've become an artist?
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
And you really have to get into that mindset. I've always been an artist in myself. I've never been able to do that until about 25 years ago. And decided, when I was doing those courses, I started progressing, and I was heavily involved with the corporate side of art in Auckland. And so that all kind of brought me right around to being an artist. And I think doing exhibits and being involved on the committees that I was in Auckland, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I am an artist. I do introduce myself as an artist. And so it is a mindset. It's very
Yeah.
much a mindset. Yeah.
And talking of that mindset, when was the point? Because now you host fabulous art retreats in Greece.
Yeah.
What point did you go back to Greece, and what was it like going back that first time?
I had a serious event happened to me. My youngest son passed away, actually. And so it made me realize what my life was all about. And I think if we have those sort of events in our lives, we usually have to look at, what am I going to do next? Where am I going? And I was financially secure, very financially secure in New Zealand. And I decided to go traveling with my sister. And I'd always kept in contact with my Greek family, mainly for the boys. And when Costa died, she said, let's go. And we went and we traveled to Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, And I said, "Oh, I think I'll just pop in and see the Greek family." And with that, one of the cousins actually said to me, "Why don't you stay?" It wasn't the way they said it, was the way it was interpreted.
Yeah.
And I thought, "Hmm." So I came back, rented my house out, gave my car to someone to look after, packed all my stuff up and rented my house out, and thought I'd go for 6 months. I stayed there for over 10 years.
Wow.
And it was a healing for me. It really was
Yeah.
healing because I'd go to when I go back now, I always go for Greek Sunday lunch with the family. So I'm part of the family. It's just, and I get emails and that from the younger generation now. So I'm auntie. I'm their auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you are family, and
Yeah.
it is very tragic. And I've heard, you're not alone in
Yeah.
the sense that trauma for a lot of people, travel has been a tool they've used
Yeah.
to heal. And I think, yours seems like actually in a lovely way, a full circle moment too.
Yeah. It is.
That you went back to Greece then on your own terms.
Yeah. So I rented a place, and I wasn't in the same village. I was in the township of Agina, and I did painting retreats for people. I did some Greek painting classes. I did some icon painting. It was all in Greek, and I did that as well. So I was immersing myself in the Greek society as well, and getting alongside them. And it was just without them saying it, they if they mention my name or his name, "Oh, I'm sorry, Sue." And I go, "No, no, 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 no." And they'll say, that they respect the dead
Yeah.
very much so over there. Whereas we bury our dead and maybe go to the cemetery once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They decorate their graves every, Good Friday and Easter every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yet you'll see some of them going back every day, every night, lighting a little candle, you know. So, it's kind of a different mindset and different
Yeah.
culture, which I loved, and
Yeah.
I still love,
And it seems like you said, you really needed that at that time too.
I'm just gonna move out of the road. The sun's just getting in my.
And you're right. It's okay.
Yeah, it is it's a different mindset, and I noticed a lot of the, people women who come on my retreat have, either lost their close mother or, their husband, and it's not just, it's kind of a healing for them as well,
Yeah.
and I think I relate
100%.
to that. I think um but I did do courses over there with, Scandinavians and English people. They would want me to do painting classes for them, and I had my own studio in my apartment there.
So leading on to that, so now, yeah, you host these art retreats in Greece. So you do them once a year, is that right?
Yes, that's right, and it's
You
September.
in September. So is that a good month for Greece?
Oh, it's a great month. Yeah, yeah.
And
Now is
how
a
long?
now is a good month. I noticed a couple of people are swimming already. The Greeks don't swim until it's really hot.
Yeah, I was surprised because I haven't been to Greece, but my family's from Croatia, and so on the Mediterranean still.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
actually really surprised how cold the water was. I was expecting it to be a lot warmer, so I sort of get that.
It's up north it is. It's very cold
Yeah,
up there, and even Corfu, when I stayed there for a year, it's cold, colder water.
yeah,
I'm down by Athens, and so it gets very warm. It actually becomes quite warm, like a bath sometimes.
yeah. I'm a bit of a chicken. It has to be like bath water. I'm a shocker. And so, if you were to give any advice, so say if women are thinking of coming on like one of your retreats or thinking, if they're coming through a healing process or need a change later in life because they're going through certain transitions, what's like, do you have some words of wisdom for them?
Just let go and enjoy yourself, just, I don't just it's not just a painting retreat because I'm an artist.
Yeah,
I introduce you to the Greek lifestyle, and I take you to places that only the locals know, not the tourists. there is a tourist part in Agina, the township, but I actually take you to little tavernas and restaurants that only the locals go to. And so
Yeah.
it's really just letting go and just being free and joyful, having fun. And the Greeks are so warm and inviting to people. You know, they just they've got they've got warm hearts. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think my best travel experiences have been when I've been more involved in local communities, and
yeah,
it does sort of mean
yeah,
slowing down your
yeah,
travel and maybe not ticking off sites. So something like what you do with art retreats where you can definitely tick off the things, but having that time to slow down and
yeah,
just be in a place and
yeah.
feel it, I think is really important.
And you don't have to be an artist as well. A couple of them, every so often in the groups, always have not done any art. One was an embroiderist, and so
Oh, yeah.
she had a bit of a color coordination. So I teach you the color wheel, how to mix colors, how to enjoy picking up a few colors and coloring and just doing them.
Yeah.
Just by the beach, sort of thing. And I take you to like an evening. I'll all of a sudden say, "Hey, let's go. Do you want to come to a local bar, which is in a couple of villages away, and we'll taste ouzo and there's only 60 brands of ouzo over there. I don't recommend you taste them all at once. I have about 5, and they all come back happy.
Wow, you do pretty well then.
They always come back very happy.
I bet they do. I mean, like, yeah, Greece is still on my list. I haven't been. I've been all around it, and yet the timing's just never been right to
Yeah,
go there. But
yeah,
it's so much on my list because one, I love history, so obviously it's a place I'm just
yeah,
very drawn to.
yeah,
But I love what you're doing, and I think it's really special. And I think you have like you mentioned, a very unique perspective and knowledge to support these women when they come along. And I think that's really important for anyone out there. If you are looking to do solo travel for the first time and you are a little bit nervous, looking for people like Sue or myself to
yeah.
support you, uh, so you're not totally alone doing it, is really important, isn't it?
Well, it's and I've lived there for so long and traveled so long. I did exhibitions in London and Italy and that, and I tell you, don't go through Rome Airport.
Well,
You'll
it's
lose
that
your
in
suitcase there.
Yeah, it's that insider knowledge, and that's why it's, if they book something with you, you can that's the bonus, is
Yeah,
all those little tips and
that's something. Yeah,
information you can
yeah,
give somebody
yeah,
that maybe their travel agent just wouldn't consider. So that's why something
yeah,
like this is so important, because there's the basic logistics of when you're going to travel, but knowing someone who can tell you like little secrets like that one is
yeah.
really important.
And also, I had one girl, she wanted to go to Crete. And of course, Crete's a huge island, it's down south. And so I introduced her to Jonathan, who's does walking tours and he's English down there. And she went down there because she wanted to actually go where her father had been during World War II. And he was one of the last Kiwis to get out of Crete just before the Germans came in. So she wanted to go and just go into his footsteps, sort of thing. So she did that, and I got her tickets. I said, "Do you want to fly or do you want to go by ferry boat overnight?" And I said, "Don't get the expensive one with a port because you can't see anything anyway because it's dark." Things like that. And she
Yeah.
had a wonderful time. She went down by herself for about a week. And there's cooking classes, on another island if you want to learn Greek cooking from the authentic Greeks. There's all those sort of things. Yeah.
So I'm going to put all of Sue's details below for you if you want to reach out and get in touch with her and have a
Yeah.
chat. See where are art exhibitions. Have you got any coming up actually?
Just finished one, and tomorrow I've got a workshop actually here in Tauranga, and I'm doing basically the start of what I do over in Greece. So I'm teaching people here. I've got nothing coming up. No, it's winterish time. I was in Whakatane, and we've just finished there, and Tauranga's just finished, and so there's nothing around at the moment. I do have paintings down at the historical village, which is there's a couple of galleries down there, and I've got work in there permanently. which
And
changes all the time.
September, have you got dates for your retreat in
Yes,
September?
14th to the 20th.
So mark that on your calendar, everybody. And as we always start the show, we always end it as well. Have you got a question you'd like to ask our next guest?
How do you pack your bags, your suitcases?
Fold or roll?
Aha! Why not pouches?
Those vacuum pack ones.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Well, Kmart has ones with
packing cubes too.
packing cubes. They have the names on it. Or Kathmandu. They're the best things. You just bring them out, put them back, so you're not hunting around your suitcase all the time.
I love packing cubes myself. They're the best thing ever. So it's been so lovely, Sue, to have you on the show. I really appreciated your time.
Thank you, Gina, for having me. Yeah.
And good luck for Greece. And,
Thank you.
I'd love to join you one day.
And I'll teach you a bit of Greek.
I'd love that because, look, reading Greek, I can't even look at it. Just looks like figures. It's not even remotely. And like Italian, you can sort of look at it and get a gist, but Greek, no.
But you can't. No. Greeks are great. Greek's great.
Well, it's been so lovely to have you here, and I thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So remember, everyone, to stay tuned to the next episode, and it's always never too late to unleash your wanderlust.
Wonderful.
Thanks for listening. Please share the love by liking, commenting, or subscribing, or join us in our Facebook community.